may have to take that money out of the budget. Um,
Is there something with flavor that I can develop now? I have a question, something to do with flavor too.
there were just a few changes in their budget that Laura could tell you.
What I take?
Huh?
What I take? What I take?
Just help himself.
Pardon?
Oh,
Are you
good.
ready, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's roll.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on there now. Ready?
Yep.
Dude, it's not anything fun.
We call meeting to order. Okay, roll call, please.
Arnett,
Here.
Beck,
Here.
Barry,
Here.
Bowler,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Duchesne,
Here.
Duquesne, Duquesne, Hall, Hope, Hope,
Here.
Hudson,
Here.
Kessel,
Here.
Coomer,
Here.
Madsen,
Here.
McCollum, Platt,
Here.
Spangler,
Here.
Taylor, Taylor, Thompson,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Wilner.
Here.
You got a quorum.
Okay. You know here where my mic's at? Where's mine at? No?
Well, you were using that one.
Well, I should still have one that hooks to the speaker up here.
I got the recorded one.
Oh, you got the curve? Okay, that's fine. Okay.
That speaker's not loud.
Good. All right, join me for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mister, invocation, please.
Father, thank you for this day and the beautiful weather you gave us today. Look after those who are sick and in need, especially look after Dale Parsons, who's in the hospital in intensive care. He's a former board member and a ZBA member. Look after the farmers as they're in the field trying to get their crops out, help them stay safe, and help the people watch out for them as they drive down the road, and help them be safe, and help us board make the right decisions for citizens of Fulton County. Father, grant us your peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You ready? Hello? You good? Hello? Hello?
You're gonna have to woof into it.
Yeah. Okay, at this time, acceptance of the minutes of the regular session of September 14th, 2021. Motion by Thompson, second by Duchesne. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
All right. Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner.
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
and Platt.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Okay, additions or deletions to the agenda or approval? Do you have anything? Motion by Thompson, second by Beck. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Who was that?
Thompson and Beck.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yeah.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. All right, proclamations, action discussion for resolution, Fulton County disaster proclamation.
Whereas that disaster proclamation was effective through October 8th, 2021, and whereas the Fulton County Board authorizes an extension of the disaster proclamation through October 30th, 2021. Therefore, be it resolved that the Fulton County Board Chairman approve this recommendation. Be it further resolved that the county clerk notifies the county board office and all Fulton County department heads and Fulton County elected officials. Be it further resolved that this proclamation will be extended until the aforementioned date or until the governor of the state of Illinois rescinds or allows his executive orders to expire.
Thank you. Motion to approve. Motion by Coomer, second by Thompson.
Man, Jesus.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
Yes.
Hudson.
No.
Is that a yes, Donna?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
and Thompson.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Resolution for Breast Cancer Awareness Month for October. Read that, please.
Whereas about 1 in 8 U.S. women will develop invasive breast cancer over the course of her lifetime, and whereas a man's lifetime risk of breast cancer is about 1 in 883, and whereas death rates from breast cancer have been declining, and this change is thought to be the result of treatment advances, earlier detection through screening, and increased awareness. And whereas researchers, scientists, numerous nonprofit organizations, and breast cancer survivors are dedicated to discovering the cure for breast cancer. During the month of October, we acknowledge the extraordinary commitment and effort invested in this cause and support those who are working towards a cure. And whereas we recognize the breast cancer survivors among us, including Sarah Eskridge, a 6-year survivor who has worked in the Fulton County State's Attorney's Office for 22 years. Shirley Skinner, who worked for the Fulton County Health Department for 15 years. Jennifer Wilcox Fick, cousin of County Clerk Patrick O'Brien, who is currently battling this disease. And Diane Pfeiffer, who has camped at the Fulton County Campground for 22 years. And whereas we recognize those who lost their courageous battle with daughter-in-law of longtime County Board member Warren Potter, Emma Discamps, a dedicated Fulton County dispatcher who served the residents of Fulton County over 20 years, and Cheryl Mosier, who worked for the Fulton County Health Department over 20 years. We also recognize that breast cancer touches the lives of the families, friends, and coworkers who are left to grieve their loss. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fulton County Board does hereby proclaim October 2021 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month and encourage all Americans to learn the facts about breast cancer, invest in a healthy future, and obtain regular breast cancer screenings.
Okay, get a motion to approve this. Motion by Arnett, second by Nestor. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Arnett, Matheson.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
and Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Public remarks, we have none. Consent agenda, motion to approve the consent. Motion by Laura Kessel. Second by Thompson. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yeah.
Bowler, Bowler, Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
and Wilner.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, moving on to the action agenda, treasurer's report. Stacy.
Good evening, everyone. Starting off in your financial packet, one of the first pages you received is the distribution from last month, the end of September. So far to date, the taxes that have gone out the door in distribution dollars is $47,276,010.22. After adjustments came through for various different reasons with tax collection, the total amount now of current taxes due is $48,990,273.32. Basically, about 97% of property taxes that have billed, collected, and distributed have gone out the door. There's just a little bit left to do. Now, just because there's a little bit left to do doesn't mean that we're done with the tax cycle. If your constituents ask, they have until October 28th to pay their taxes by 4 o'clock in person. The tax sale for all delinquent properties will take place the last Friday of this month, which is October 29th at 9 a.m. If anyone has any questions or concerns about their delinquencies, the Cuba bond letter, any of that fun stuff, our phones are ringing off the hook, and we're more than happy to answer any questions that they have. Does anyone have any property tax questions?
I do have.
Sure.
I've had several people call my house, come to my house
Okay,
with a letter from the school, Cuba School District.
correct.
Is there any way to get any clarification? Because one person asked me, says, well, did we get taxed right and they just not pay the Cuba School District, correct?
No, what ended up happening is last year, when the prior county clerk put levy information in for Cuba Bond School, there were 4 levies that needed to be entered. There were 4 bonds rather. 3 of the bonds were due to expire and 1 was new. What initially happened was an error was accidentally made. The new bond got put in for Cuba School District as part of their levy. The 3 that were in their final year inadvertently got left off. So when taxes were extended to my office, the amount for Cuba School District bond levy did not include those 3 bonds. So as tax collection process was going throughout the year last year and distributions, once this Cuba School District saw, when they went to make their bond payment, they didn't have enough money to cover it. Long story short of a very
It's a
complicated.
long story, I guess, because this is my question, and not to interrupt you, but what can you show that the people in Cuba School District did not pay the correct amount of property tax? What can you show that you paid the correct amount to the school district? That's what people have asked me. Is they're looking to their comparison from the previous taxes to the next year's taxes, being 2019 payable in 2020.
Okay, so there'll be a couple of different items that can be provided. First and foremost is tax extension report versus the Cuba School District final distribution. That's going to show the number of what was extended to me and the number that actually went out the door. There are a lot of variables that come in play, salient errors, certificate of errors, different adjustments that every year alter the extension amount versus collected and distributed. But that will show in there. On the clerk's side of it, the bond certification and different information on that side, Patrick would have to provide that information that would show what was requested and what actually came through in the levy request for Cuba School District was different. That's where it went in, was on the data entry side of the Cuba School District levy. So that error was accidentally made. There was no malicious intent. Mistakes happen. It wasn't caught until towards the end of the current year's tax cycle. At that point, our state's attorney was involved, an attorney for the school district. Several people were made aware of the situation. The county board was approached because the Cuba School District was not going to be able to make their bond payment. At that time, the school board voted to use tort liability funds in upwards of $300,000, was less than that, $290-ish, somewhere in there. The board voted to give the school loan, and the school would repay it next year. The reason, Carl, there is that lapse between what happened last year, the notification letter this year, and next year, owners, I believe the magic date is either October 1st or October 15th of that year. You cannot put that administrative error on the next year's tax bill. I didn't find out about it till after the fact.
I understand that. I guess, like you said, people have asked me, and I can't answer them, but the question is, were they taxed correctly or were they not taxed correctly? And how can it only be Cuba School District? If an error was made in one district, you would have thought Valley's a small district, very small district.
It was just that data entry of Cuba School District. And by statute, it's the tax collector that has to provide notification to all the property owners.
I'm not worried about the notification. I just want to clear that that was correct, that they were not taxed enough money to begin with. Not that there was an error that the county didn't pay Cuba School District the amount of money. The taxpayer was the one.
Correct. On the tax bill, the taxpayer did not pay enough for the Cuba bond, which goes into that full amount of that levy. There are a lot of different funds that the Cuba School District levies for, which calculates out to one rate that you see on the tax bill. Now, next year, this administrative error, I'm not for sure how Clerk O'Brien will word it on the tax bill, but it is going to come through as its own line. So the citizens that are affected in this taxing district, so there's almost 3,298 parcels that are affected by this. They will see that in a separate line, and that will go on their tax bill for next year. We will collect, distribute, and at the end of the year, the contract that we have with Cuba School District, they will pay back the county, and those funds will go back in the tort liability fund.
Let me ask you another question then. Say that you bought a house last year
Mhm.
and, so who's gonna pay that previous taxes due? The new property owner or the person that sold the house? Because they were taxed on that rate. Now, is the new property owner gonna be responsible for that additional $160 on $100,000?
That is a really good question, and that's a legal question that's not in my lane. So, and that's where, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, and that's where a lot of this went into thoughtful consideration. Even Carl, in putting that approximation, a lot of people have been confused by I had to give, the state's attorney wanted some type of financial example of what this impact could potentially be. The problem with that is that I needed to make it as simple as possible. So assessed value of 100,000. So, or I'm sorry, not assessed, but a property value of 100,000. So you're looking at 3,000 or 33,000 and change of assessed value. 6,000 owner occupied. There are a lot of different exemptions that some people may qualify for, and some exemptions that they won't qualify for. So that's going to be difficult to come into play. Plus, we don't know the assessed value for next year. We don't know the exemptions that someone may qualify for next year. And we don't know what other funds Cuba School District will levy for next year. There are so many unknown variables that it's painful, but we had to simplify it the best that we could. And I worked with our state's attorney, and that's the letter that we drafted up. But I would encourage any of your constituents that you're talking to have any concerns or questions, please ask them to call my office. Our phones haven't.
Show up down there if you want to know the truth. They have a hard time understanding how just one school district, and I believe the same thing. I think we were taxed correctly. Maybe the school district didn't get their amount.
You weren't taxed correctly because those 3 bonds were not put into the levy. The tax rate would have been higher for Cuba School. But you're going to have to see what the levy request was the year prior, what the levy request was this year's levy request, because it's not just one fund that comes into that tax rate. So again, I would just encourage, our phones are ringing off the hook. I'm getting really fun mail and a lot of people visiting the office. And we're doing our best to explain in the most easiest to understand terms, but it's property taxes get very convoluted. And I have to talk in a lot of hypotheticals because we don't know what next year looks like. We just by law have to notify them. But I'd be more than happy to pull together different reports. If the entire board, if you would like that emailed, I can work with Patrick and we'll come up with some reports and email it out. But again, my response to you is to please just ask them to call. Please ask them to come to the office. We'll answer the best that we can and talk down with whoever we need to. Because this is going to come up next year when it shows up on the bill.
Correct. And I guess I'm sitting here and I feel like I have a grasp of something. Some people don't. You're not going to be able to explain it. I can tell you right now, if I was Joe Farmer sitting out there, I'd be saying, no, I'm going to send an attorney, I guess, because the majority of our people in that school district think they paid the right amount of taxes, and people didn't get their money from whoever, the county board or you or whoever, because they look at what they paid the previous year, the previous 2 years.
Right, but again, you've got to be really careful
But
when you're
you're talking
looking
circles to,
right, when
you
you're-
gotta talk to the average person.
and
You're not gonna make them understand that if I can't understand.
I would like to be provided the opportunity to help them understand. And again, when you're looking at your tax bill, you're looking at the Cuba School District rate that's all Medicare. So the easiest way is, unfortunately, a mistake was made by the prior clerk that resulted in, pursuant to state statute, notification being this tax year. Next year, they'll see it on their tax bill. They'll pay that extra amount for taxes. and then it'll go back to Cuba School District. Cuba School District will, at the end of the year, fund the county back.
If they pay it, if they owe it, are they gonna end up paying interest and penalties on this?
They will only pay interest and penalties if the property owner does not make the tax payment on time.
Okay.
And again,
If you want, Carl.
It's late, it's late now. What you're saying, it's late.
It's not late now because it hasn't been billed. It hasn't been billed. So nothing is late now. This is the informative year. Next year, once it is on the bill, if the bill is not paid timely, then again, pursuant to state statute, 1.5% that compounds every 30 days until taxes are sold at tax sale.
If you want, Carl, you can swing by the office. I can show you exactly the error that was made.
Okay.
I mean, I can show you exactly what was made, exactly what was extended to the treasurer and what should have been. See, we enter in, it's not like that, you know, she was picking on Cuba School District.
No, I'm not saying that.
We pull up districts. So we pull up Cuba School District. We enter everything that they include on their levy. Fact of the matter is, she put the wrong number in. It wasn't a $10,000 deviation. It was a $260,000 deviation, and that's why it's a big deal.
Trying to clean it up.
Screw up. I mean, well, it's somebody's screw up at one point, but
You're gonna have to pay double next year, what it amounts to.
But it was our last
A lot
clerk's
of people
screw up.
probably in Cuba can't afford that double up.
Well, it's the same amount they would have paid anyway, if it had been done right. So there's no other way we can go about it than this.
And then in terms of the property owners that didn't own the property last year, but will own it next year, who is billed, it's a matter of record of whoever that current owner is. So I don't know what property owners will work out in terms of, you had asked me the question, well, what if I didn't own it in levy 19, but I own it in levy 21, and I'm having to pay that extra?
Right.
I can't split out a bill the way Patrick enters it. It's all that levy information is going to come on that tax bill for that current owner. So yeah, we're more than happy to offer coming in, talking about it, phone calls, whatever the case is. We'll answer a lot of questions now, and then you better believe next year, Carl, when those tax bills go out, we'll be circling it all over again. But I'm more than happy, just anybody that you talk to, if they have questions or concerns, please ask them to call my office. My team or myself will take care of answering their questions. Okay. Anybody else have anything on that? Okay, how about some good news? So September was a really good month for Fulton County. The month of September, the revenue was $1,098,528.56. Did a surplus of $232,304.76. I'm happy to report at the end of September for County Gen, this is just County Gen Fund, there is a surplus of $1,098,115.44. The projected revenue based on budget between actuals and what you budgeted is a little over 93%. For expenses, it is just under 80%. Barring nothing catastrophic, crazy, or anything happen, the county may see a nice end of the fiscal year for county general. Fingers crossed, prayers, beliefs, whatever you believe in, keep it coming. So, any questions on that? Okay, does anyone have any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. All right, moving on, health. Ms. Kessel.
So starting with the Clayburgh, there's no COVID at the Clayburgh right now. I believe all but 4 of our employees have been vaccinated, so we've made some good progress there. We are short-staffed and some very key positions are open right now, so there's a lot of extra hours being put on the folks that are there. From a health department and COVID perspective, the new COVID case rate in Fulton County is up 12% from last week. The positive case rate, we've had 3 deaths in the last 2 weeks. In our region, there's 15% of ICU beds available. And there's a walk-in vaccination clinic at the health department every Friday morning, and most of the pharmacies you can walk in and get a vaccination as well. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
How many residents do we have right now at Sabre?
I can't tell you today, Donna, but I want to say it was 40 a few days ago.
Okay. How is the therapy wing? Can they take people in there, or if the COVID got that locked down?
Donna, I can't say that. I don't know that. Last I knew it was still locked down, but I can't. It could have opened, and I'm not aware. But last I knew it was still locked down.
Okay. And how is your search for staff going?
Not well. We're not getting applicants.
You're not getting applicants even?
I mean, not getting as many as we should, and for some of the key positions, haven't gotten any, or maybe gotten one. There's healthcare short-staffed everywhere right now.
Okay.
I think
Thank
people are
you.
wore out.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Laura. All right, highway, Mr. Maxon.
County Highway 2, Bernie Dow working on the guardrails and going to be striping. County Highway 27, Lake Road, their guardrail work will be before they get started. It's scheduled to start October 25th. And the guys are out doing some grading. They're grading shoulders down and doing some pothole repair, stuff like that. Also, people, when you're out driving around, this is harvest season, please be aware of the farm trucks and tractors. They take up a wide area of the road. Give them space and look after your fellow people. Thank you.
Okay, anybody got any questions for Nestor? Thanks. All right, public safety campground, Eric.
We approved all the claims, and we discussed and approved prorating 2 electrical and 4 non-electrical sites from October to December for John. And we approved the seal bids, but we rejected the seal bids on the bad boy mower, the bat wing, and the brush hog. And his first weekend of Scenic Drive, he said he was full. And the second weekend, it's like only about 40% people there. So this we did pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Mary? All right, property and courts, Annette.
Really, the only thing that we have to talk about is the courthouse cannon wheels. And Roger. What? Okay. And Roger had been tracking down somebody to work on repairing the courthouse cannon wheels, and he's found somebody in Arthur, or have you found another one?
Well, I found another one.
Okay, what have you got now?
Well, I don't have anything definite. I talked to the guy and he said without seeing him, he said he'd have to see him to give me an exact price, but he said probably run over $500 a wheel. Well, that's a lot better than
That is a
what
lot
I had,
better.
so.
Because what we've asked for is $2,500 to be secured to make sure we've got enough to do the repairs. The first bid was $1,200 a wheel, and we thought, well,
We're done. Yeah, I put 2,500 there just to be safe. But, so, if that's what it takes, that's what it is. But I'm gonna try to get it done cheaper.
I make the motion to approve the $2,500, and then if we can get it cheaper, we can get it cheaper. That's great.
Okay. Motion by Arnett, second by Mattson. Any discussion? Lisa?
I'm just curious, does that come out of property budget or unappropriated fund?
It'll come out of the property fund. Anybody else?
Okay,
Okay, roll call, please.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
and Arnett.
yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody got any questions for Cindy? Okay. Personnel legislative. Thompson.
We don't have anything for action tonight. I just wanted to let you know, we've been working diligently on a personnel manual that was reviewed by our risk management team. And we're gonna have a packet coming to the board next month. It's gonna be delivered electronically. So you'll need to notify, because it's a lot of pages. If you want a paper copy when Cindy sends that out, please let her know if you need a paper copy. If you don't have to kill a tree, don't. Anyway, we won't be voting on it next month. We're gonna distribute it next month and then have you vote on it in December. So you've got an opportunity to look it over. That's it.
Okay, any questions for Lisa? Thank you. Okay, Biggie. Spangler.
All right. Looking at board packet, first resolution we have is the circuit clerk's salary. I'll move, we go ahead with this resolution.
Clerk, read it.
Whereas it is the duty of the county board to establish compensation for the circuit clerk. And whereas it is the recommendation of the finance committee to establish the following salary for the circuit clerk as follows. Beginning December 1st, 2021 to November 30th, 2022, annual salary of $63,001. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fulton County Board that the compensation for the Fulton County Circuit Clerk is established as follows. Repeat, I guess. Beginning December 1, 2021 to November 30th, 2022, annual salary of $63,001.
I'll make that motion.
I'll move, we
Motion
go
by
with this resolution.
Spangler,
Second.
second by Beck. Any discussion?
Questions?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Don.
What percent of raise is that?
1.8%.
Okay, and I would just like everyone to remember that we've lost 10% of our population. We're not a filthy rich county, and let's be very vigilant about the pennies as well as the dollars.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Danny?
What was the percentage on that? Again, I didn't hear.
1.8.
1.8, thank you.
Okay, Danny.
My question was on the raise, was that already set in stone, 180 days before the election?
We don't have to,
You know how I feel? Okay. I didn't know. But what-
not for the circuit clerk. Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Okay. Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hope,
Yes.
Hudson,
No.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madison,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
and Beck.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
All right, the next one we have is a resolution for raises for non-union employees. You want him to read that one?
That's a big one here. Whereas it is the recommendation of the Finance Committee of the Fulton County Board that effective date December 1, 2021, a 2.5% pay increase will be given to the following non-bargaining unit employees of Fulton County: Public Defender Administrative Assistants, County Board Administrative Comptroller, County Board Administrative Assistant, ESDA Director, Veteran Superintendent, Court Administrative Assistant, Animal Control Kennel Assistants, Court Security, and Website Coordinator. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fulton County Board that effective December 1, 2021, a 2.5% pay increase will be given to the following non-bargaining unit employees of Fulton County: Public Defender Secretaries, County Board Administrative Comptroller, County Board Administrative Assistant, ESDA Director, Veteran Superintendent, Court Administrative Assistant, Animal Control Kennel Assistants, Court Security, and Website Coordinator.
All right, I'll move that we go ahead with this resolution.
Moved by Spangler. Second by Thompson. Any discussion?
What's the average salary out of that?
It varies.
It's all over the board.
The average one, but it.
I couldn't give you an average.
The Finance Committee spent a lot of time on this, and really think this is a very fair increase in salary for these people.
Always before, last several years, we've always just give non-union people the same rate as the union, but 3 years ago, we kind of started changing that and going different. Anything else? All right, roll call.
All right. Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hope,
Yes.
Hudson,
No.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Madsen,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
and Barry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Chairman.
All right, our next one is a resolution for pay increases for the Assistant State's Attorney and Assistant Public Defender. Mr. Clerk?
Whereas it is the recommendation of the Finance Committee of the Fulton County Board that effective December 1, 2021, a 2.5% pay increase will be given to the following non-bargaining unit employees of Fulton County: Assistant State's Attorneys. And whereas it is the recommendation of the Finance Committee of the Fulton County Board that effective December 1, 2021, a 4% pay increase will be given to the following non-bargaining unit employees of Fulton County: Assistant Public Defender. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fulton County Board that effective December 1, 2021, a 2.5% pay increase will be given to the following non-bargaining unit employees of Fulton County: Assistant State's Attorneys, and effective December 1, 2021, a 4% pay increase will be given to the following non-bargaining unit employees of Fulton County: Assistant Public Defender. I need to correct this resolution.
Got it?
Yeah, need to make a note of that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll move that we go ahead with this resolution.
Motion Spangler, second by Kessel.
Okay,
Any discussion?
we pulled these two out, because these were higher priced people. And the assistant public defender, the public defender came to us and said, you know, he was really worried about losing this guy because he was way underpaid. And like McDonough County was advertising this job, trying to hire somebody new for a lot more money than what we were paying him actually. And
I gave you the wrong copy.
so this 4% increase, with this 4% increase, he is still on the lower end of what these guys make. But it was hopefully enough to keep him in the county. He was really worried what we were going to do if we lost him. So that's why these two were pulled out from the other non-union increases.
Can you give us what his salary is?
It was 50,000, wasn't it?
52, yeah, 50, and we raised it to
50,000.
52.
For an attorney.
Right.
Yeah.
I think McDonough County was advertising for someone for this job for like 54,000.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
All right. Clark.
Yes.
Duchesne. Hoke.
No.
Hudson.
No.
Kessel.
Yes.
Coomer.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Spangler.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilner.
Yes.
Arnett.
Yes.
Beck.
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Bowler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next.
Okay. Next one is county highway tax levy increase.
Whereas the county board has the power to levy an annual tax to be known as the county highway tax pursuant to 605 ILCS 5-5-601 for the purpose of improving, maintaining, repairing, constructing, and reconstructing the county highways required to be maintained, repaired, and constructed by the county as provided in 605 ILCS 5-5-401. And for the payment of lands, quarries, pits, or other deposits of road material required by the county for such purpose, and for acquiring and maintaining machinery and equipment, or for acquiring, maintaining, operating, constructing, or reconstructing buildings for housing highway offices, machinery, equipment, and materials used for the construction, repair, and maintenance of such highways. Whereas Fulton County currently levies such a tax at 0.0765% of the value as equalized or assessed by the Department of Revenue of the taxable property within the county. And whereas 605 ILCS 5-5-601 authorizes the Fulton County Board to levy such a tax not to exceed 0.10% of the value as equalized or assessed by the Department of Revenue of the taxable property within the county. And whereas it is the recommendation of the Finance Committee of the Fulton County Board that such tax be raised from 0.0765% by the Department of Revenue of the property within the county to 0.10% of the value as equalized or assessed by the Department of Revenue of the taxable property. Now therefore be it resolved by the Fulton County Board that the county highway tax levy be raised from 0.0765% of the value as equalized or assessed by the Department of Revenue of the taxable property within the county to 0.10% of the value as equalized or assessed by the Department of Revenue of the taxable property within the county.
Okay,
Thank you. I'll move that we move forward with this resolution.
motion by Spangler, second by Mattson. Any discussion?
All right, here, saying, I'm gonna have Keith come up and just make a few comments. I think he'll clarify a lot of your questions. And then we'll.
So yeah, as the resolution states, currently the county highway tax levy is 0.0765%, and the maximum allowable per statute is 0.1%. Also in your packet, you can see that Patrick and both the state's attorney both had reviewed the legality of this and making sure that we're within the maximum allowable statute. So the difference between the 0.10% and 0.0765% would be an increase of 0.0235%. Using last year's rate setting EAV for the whole county of $524,712,295. The additional revenue brought in by this resolution would be approximately $123,000. Just to break it down as an example, if you own a property that has a taxable value of $50,000, your yearly bill would be increased by about $11.75. And this will really, my goal is this will really help establish a sustainable way of maintaining both our roads, bridges, our fleet, and our building, everything at once. So we're not sacrificing one thing or another. This will really make it a little bit of a more robust setup so we can maintain all of these entities that need to be kept up. I think that's about all, John.
All right, questions?
Carl?
With that, then, once it's maxed out, it's going to be 0.1%, correct? We can't come back without a resolution being voted on.
No, without a vote.
Yeah, takes a
Referendum.
Referendum.
You know, hey, because I remember years ago when we tried the safety tax, gosh, we should have went to the 1.5% because we could never get a second vote to get it through the county. So, I mean.
So yeah, 0.1 is the maximum allowed by statute without it going to a referendum.
Danny?
I have a question for Keith. I saw where it was set in there, it can be used for your maintenance on your building, or some of it can be.
Yep.
Have you, I don't imagine you probably have since you've been there, but have you done a study compared to what your repairs would be on that existing building compared to
It's
installing possibly a new building?
Yeah,
it needs a wrecking ball. I mean, there's no stretch of anyone's imagination that would say that repairs would be warranted. I mean, I could name the laundry list of things that it's in such disrepair and it hasn't had a dollar spent on it that I can find.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And
And Dan, this is going in building maintenance, but it could be used towards a new building.
Well, I just wonder if since he's been our engineer, engineer,
We're working
if he's
on
done
it.
a
1.9.
study from the building.
It's a resounding rebuild completely. And I'd be happy to give you a tour anytime you want to stop by.
Sure.
I really would. So.
That's all I have.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. All right, roll call.
All right.
Duchesne,
Yes.
Hoke,
No.
Hudson,
No.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Black,
No.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
and Clark.
Yes.
Got the boss. Motion carried.
And just for note, we're taking a look at a lot of these levies, and there is some things. What's the one we're not doing this year? I can't remember.
Unemployment compensation.
Yeah, like the unemployment compensation, that account has plenty of money in it. We're not going to levy for that this year. So, I mean, we're looking at all these levies, and so all in all, people are probably not going to see much change in their tax bill, really. All right, the last thing I have is we need to, I'll move that we put the budget on display, the draft budget on display.
Second.
Motion by Spangler, second by Beck, to put the budget approval for public review. And I'll remind all you, you're not voting to approve the budget. You're just voting to put it out for public review.
Right.
It's not gonna go in front of the board, did you say December?
It'll go next month, November.
In November, we'll vote on the
We'll
budget.
vote on it. We can do any changes. Up until then, we can still do any kind of changes we need to do. But this is put it out for public review. That way you get public input on it. If people look at it and say, I'm not satisfied with something, you can bring it back to the board and say, I've had complaints about this.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, this basically locks in the budget where it's at as a draft right now, and no changes can be done to the budget unless it's done in an open meeting.
Okay, but a couple changes that will be in your budget reflecting that. And also another change that will show up is we just got our the bids on the health insurance, and it looks like we're probably going to be somewhere in that's going to go up around $170,000. And so we've added that in also. And we were real close before that to having a balanced budget, and we're not done working on it. We plan on bringing you back a balanced budget. Right now, our deficit is, what did I lose that number? $171,654 is our deficit. So we're close, and we plan on getting there before the next meeting.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, call roll.
Hope,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
that's a yes, Donna?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Kessel,
Okay.
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yeah.
Bowler. Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne,
Yes.
motion carried.
I want to thank the budget committee for all the work they did putting into this. I sat in a few of the meetings, and they did an awesome job so far.
Yep.
Thank you.
Audra and John, they spent a lot of time effort on this whole finance committee did a good job. Okay, Community development, Bowles.
Yeah, we have nothing for board action this month, Roger.
Okay, anybody got any questions? All right, thanks. Executive session, we have none. Any miscellaneous? Need a motion to recess. Yeah, we'll recess till next month. Motion by Thompson, second by Kessel. Roll call.
Hudson,
Yes.
Kessel,
Yes.
Coomer,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Spangler,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Wilner,
Yes.
Arnett,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Duchesne, Hope.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Reset to the call of the chair. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Oh, okay.
As long as it's a nice, I had an